Good day folks, my name is Sean and this is Air Photography. Just a quick little video for you today, and we're going to be taking a closer look at the new DJI MasterShots. If you're not quite sure what MasterShots are, basically it's a new filming mode for the new DJI Air 2S. It's very similar to quick shots as it's considered an intelligent flight mode. However, it is a little bit more in-depth and it does fly its own predefined path. When it's done, you're left with a 2 to 3 minute video that you can go ahead and edit yourself, or you can use one of the built-in DJI templates. Now, there are a couple very important things to note, a couple tips that you need to know about in order to keep props out of the shot. So let's just jump right in and take a closer look. So when DJI introduced this new Air 2S drone, one of the things they announced alongside of it was a new feature called MasterShots. Now before I had a chance to play around with it, just the first thing that kind of went into my mind was more of a gimmicky kind of thing, similar to quick shots. Quick shots are useful in some situations, but it's not really something that I use very often. They do come in handy from time to time, but really at the end of the day I like to fly the drone myself. A lot of those shots that you can do with quick shots, you can replicate yourself fairly easy. But MasterShots is a little bit different and it can actually produce some pretty interesting results. It combines some dynamic flight moves with the zoom camera that's built into the Air 2S. And for a new pilot, even experienced pilot, it can give you some shots that are fairly hard to replicate. Now there are some limitations to quick shots. First of all, it will only record in 1080. And I do believe that is because it heavily uses the zoom. It needs that 8 times zoom in order to achieve some of the shots. Now the other limitation, which you've probably seen already on YouTube, is that when it's filming master shots, it does tend to get the props in there quite a bit. And not only the props, sometimes you'll end up seeing the leg in there as well. Now the reason that happens is when the drone is flying a master shot, it has safety in mind. It wants to make use of its front-facing and upward-facing sensors. So as it's performing some of those dynamic movements, instead of spinning the drone around, which would then expose the side of the drone, which doesn't have any sensors, it's going to turn the camera to the side to achieve some of the angles. And that way you still have full obstacle avoidance. But that's where the problem comes in. Sometimes when the camera's at an extreme angle, of course, you're going to see the props and perhaps the leg. Now with that said, there is a camera setting that you can enable within the camera options. That setting only appears when you put it into MasterShot mode. As you can see here, when you put the drone into MasterShots, if you go to your settings up in the top right hand corner, go to the camera section, you can see there are a couple options to have it set for obstacle avoidance or for composition. As mentioned, by default it's set to obstacle avoidance, and again that gives you full obstacle avoidance when the drone is making its maneuvers. If you set it to composition, instead of the camera moving around from side to side to achieve some of the shots, the drone is actually going to spin around instead. So you're not going to get the propellers in the shots. However, it does give you that warning there that you do have to be very cautious. Make sure you're very aware of your surroundings because the drone could potentially fly into an obstacle. So at that point, you just have to decide what's more important to you. If you're flying in close proximity to a lot of obstacles, definitely you want to leave obstacle avoidance on. However, if you're up fairly high in the air and there's nothing around, you can go ahead and turn that off safely. Even if you do leave obstacle avoidance on and you might get props in the shots, it's not throughout the whole video. There just might be a couple of different times that you'll see it. And again, it also depends on the wind. If it's a really windy day, the drone is moving around a lot more, which will increase the chances of the props appearing. MasterShots is super simple to use. Basically, it's just like using Active Track. You're just going to select an object by dragging on the screen. From there, you actually have a couple other options that you can set, such as height and width. Once you have everything set the way you like it, you can just go ahead and start the master shot. The drone's going to fly around for approximately 2 to 3 minutes, and it's going to perform various maneuvers. Now when the drone is done filming its master shot, it's going to go back to the position that it started from. You're going to be left with a 2 to 3 minute video file on the memory card. From there you can go and edit it yourself, just chop it up and use the best parts of it. Or as mentioned, you can use the predefined templates. They actually have quite a few to choose from and some of them are pretty good. You just have to kind of play around with them, try them all to see what you like best. Another interesting thing to note is that the drone actually makes use of the FPV gimbal mode. It'll actually do a couple shots to kind of replicate an FPV drone. Now as mentioned, master shots, just like quick shots, is not going to be for everybody. Myself, I really like to learn some of these techniques and do them manually, but there definitely is a place for it. Like I said, some of those shots are pretty hard to master. On the other hand, if you're just stopping to film something quickly, Perhaps there's a point of interest you want to film. Just putting it up and starting a MasterShot, you know you're going to get some pretty nice shots of it. Do a quick edit and then share right to social media. I would like to see DJI develop MasterShots a little bit further, and I would like to see the option of filming in 4K. Maybe it can't capture some of the dynamic shots as it can do with 8x zoom. Even just making use of the 4x zoom would still produce some pretty good results. Well folks, that's basically it for my video. Just a quick look at MasterShots and a few tips to help you get the most out of them. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.